Theme 1, Logistical Issues and Solutions. One of the clearest findings from this research is that food relief organisations across North East Melbourne face significant logistical challenges. While community organisations are doing an incredible job supporting people experiencing food insecurity, many are operating within a system that is difficult to predict, difficult to coordinate, and often stretched beyond its limits. A major challenge is the instability of food supply. Community organisations consistently described food deliveries from large food relief providers as unpredictable and constantly changing. What is available one week may not be available the next. Some organisations reported dramatic reductions in food supplies following changes within the food rescue sector, leaving them struggling to meet demand. Shockingly, one organisation reported their egg supply dropping 85%, 70 to 100 dozen to 3 to 6 dozen. This creates a situation where many food pantries become heavily dependent on a small number of large suppliers. When those suppliers experience disruptions, the effects are felt across the entire local food relief network. The research found that this reliance creates vulnerability and limits the ability of organizations to plan ahead. One potential solution is Food Drive. By creating a real time platform where community organizations can see available food supplies and share stock with one another, the application could reduce dependence on a small number of suppliers. Instead of relying solely on external food sources, organizations could access surplus food available within their own local network. This would help create a more stable and resilient food system. Transport was another major issue identified by the research. Many organizations reported that they simply do not have enough vehicles to collect and distribute food effectively. Refrigerated vehicles are particularly important because they are required to transport meat, dairy products, and other perishable foods safely. Yet across the 11 participating organizations, there were only a small number of refrigerated vehicles available, with most volunteers using their own personal cars to transport food. This shortage creates bottlenecks that limit how much food can be collected and distributed. In some cases, valuable food donations may not be rescued simply because there is no available vehicle to collect them. Food Drive could help address this challenge by coordinating transport more efficiently. The application could connect organizations that have vehicles with those that need assistance, organize volunteer drivers, and help optimize collection and delivery routes. Rather than organizations working independently, resources could be shared across the network to improve efficiency. Storage limitations were also identified as a significant challenge. Most organizations reported that they do not have enough refrigerators, freezers, or dry storage space to safely store donated food. This means that organizations and suppliers are sometimes forced to decline food donations, particularly fresh produce, frozen foods, and meat products. Several organizations describe the situation simply: if they cannot store the food, they cannot distribute it. The research found that inadequate storage contributes directly to food waste and reduces the ability of organizations to respond to community demand, thus perpetuating food insecurity across the region. Food Drive could help solve this problem by providing visibility of available storage capacity across the network. If one organization receives more food than it can store, the application could identify nearby organizations with available space, allowing food to be redistributed before it spoils. This would make better use of existing resources while supporting future planning for additional storage infrastructure. Another issue raised throughout the study was the increasing cost of providing food relief. Fuel expenses, vehicle maintenance, waste disposal costs, storage costs, and general operating expenses continue to place pressure on almost all community organizations. Some organizations reported spending significant amounts of time and money transporting food between locations or disposing of excess food when there was no coordinated way to redistribute it. These costs reduce the capacity of organizations to focus on their primary goal of helping people. Food Drive has the potential to reduce these inefficiencies. By improving coordination and reducing unnecessary transport and waste, the application could help organizations use their limited resources more effectively. The data generated through the platform could also strengthen applications for funding and support investment in shared infrastructure. The research also identified a significant geographic challenge across North East Melbourne. Unlike other regions, North East Melbourne currently lacks a major food distribution warehouse. As a result, many organisations must travel long distances to collect food from suppliers obligated to council restrictions and located in other parts of Melbourne. These additional travel requirements increase costs, consume volunteer time, and place additional strain on already limited transport resources. One warehouse is 2 years away from being built. In the meantime, Victorian households are in the midst of an historic food crisis. Despite its storage constraints, an existing microhub demonstrates distributed leadership and functional capacity for a regional, virtual warehouse. Additionally, an active food collective hub situated in another area is unable to provide bulk buying power, making items too expensive for food pantries. At the same time, the research found a strong willingness among local organizations to collaborate. Most participating organizations already share excess food with one another when possible, however, lately tend to store it, and nearly all expressed a willingness to share resources with neighboring organizations. An expanded warehouse capacity and delivery logistics, supported by satellite pantries and the Food Drive app, will increase procurement opportunities and collective buying power. This presents an important opportunity. Food Drive could function as a virtual food hub, connecting local food pantries, community organisations, food rescue groups, satellite food cupboards, food producers, and community donors through a single platform. While a major supplier and physical warehouse remains a highly important long term goal for the northeast of Melbourne, a digital solution could begin strengthening local connections immediately and reduce reliance on distant food distribution centres. The final logistical challenge identified by the research was the lack of coordinated inventory management. Most organisations currently rely on manual systems and occasional stock takes to monitor food supplies. Most do not use any dedicated inventory management software. This makes it difficult to accurately forecast demand, coordinate supplies, or identify shortages before they occur. As a result, some organisations experience daily shortages, half had weekly shortages, while others may have excess food available. Food Drive could provide real time visibility of food stocks across participating organisations. By sharing information through a common platform, organisations would be able to identify available resources, anticipate future needs, and make more informed decisions about food distribution. Taken together, these findings paint a clear picture. The major logistical barriers facing food relief organisations in North East Melbourne are supply instability, transport shortages, inadequate storage, rising operating costs, geographic isolation, and limited access to real time inventory data. At the same time, the research found strong evidence that organisations are already willing to collaborate and share resources. What is currently missing is the infrastructure to support that collaboration in a coordinated and efficient way. The findings suggest that Food Drive could play an important role in addressing these challenges. By providing real time food redistribution, transport coordination, storage mapping, inventory visibility, and network wide collaboration, the application has the potential to reduce waste, improve efficiency, strengthen local food sovereignty, and help ensure that food reaches the people who need it most. In answering the central research questions, the evidence from this theme suggests that Food Drive could indeed serve as a community led solution that enhances coordination across food pantries and strengthens local food sovereignty through technological collaboration and real time food relief management.